Okay, I'm just trying to gather my feelings on what I just saw on the new Disney Plus, the new series that John Favreau and Dave Filoni has presented to us. Now, I I am like absolutely shocked. Actually, I've seen a couple of reviews on big time channels. I think the only one that's given it, I think the only one that's been fair on this thing is Dan Merle and Angry Joe. I think Angry Joe was more spot on, and maybe a little bit of Grace Randolph. Grace did have some good points. That's because the finale just happened of the book of Boba Fett. Man, just like the thumbnail says, just like it's gonna be a rant, man. Not necessarily. I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna go crazy hard on this series because, unlike everybody who was probably invested in this series, I wasn't too big of a fan of Boba Fett as a character. Everybody knows that George Lucas had him in there, but he had barely any screen time. He just looked really cool, and of course, his demise in the Sarlacc pit. It's the goofiness of that and Han and stuff like, and then there was expanded lore to it. He got out of it. You have that funny Parks and Rec, Patton Oswalt, and how he pretty much predicted how this series shows Boba Fett getting out of that, and excuse me. Yeah, you know what? This series is just a really kind of a waste of time, except a couple of episodes. But the main problem everybody else has, and I do too, like you can't call it the Book of Boba Fett, and I get the chapters and different characters, and they're all weaving into Boba Fett's story throughout the series, but this thing is a mess. It is a mess, guys. Like, I actually did like the first episode. I really liked, I believe, the second episode. I think that's when the Tusken Raiders really bring them in and they do that train heist that reminds you of Solo, the Star Wars film. But the linear storyline, the edits on this, the goofiness of it, where it doesn't. Sometimes it takes it seriously, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you just can't help but laugh, especially with the Vespas. I was thinking of Luca the whole time and his crew. Dude, how do you drop the ball on Boba Fett recruiting people? And you know what's crazy is Robert Rodriguez directed 3 of the episodes of this series, and 3 of them were the worst ones in the series. But the dude knows about crew. Desperado, man. Desperado, Antonio Banderas got his friends together, and they were badass too. They had their briefcase full of weapons, and one had a grenade launcher or a missile launcher. But with Boba Fett, he gets Vespa. He gets Power Rangers Vespa kids. And that was directed by Robert Rodriguez. And the best episodes are either directed by Filoni or Howard, Bryce Dallas Howard. She has done such good work. Such good work. Can't wait for her in Jurassic World. But I'm saying is, like, what is going on? I'm not all going to put the sole blame on Robert Rodriguez. Filoni saw this. Favreau saw what was going on. And they didn't say anything. And this is necessarily not all Robert Rodriguez's script. It's actually Filoni's and Favreau's. And it's not Robert Rodriguez that's making, Boba Fett do some of this, like, because he only directed 3 episodes. This story is having Boba Fett soft as baby shit. Boba Fett is soft. And they mentioned he's soft. Cad Bane mentions he's soft. And there's going to be spoilers, by the way, guys. I should put that on the title. And then what I hope he's not dead, Cad Bane, in this finale. Because, my God, what a waste. I mean, I know he's in, everybody says, well, we had him in Clone Wars and all. Dude, he was a freaking awesome, he was great look, great feel, great intensity in a live adaptation. I want to see more live adaptation of Cat. But he might be dead. The Tusken Raiders thing where Boba trains, I like it, but it would have made more sense if he was kind of like he himself was being broken down in his own ways. He should, I always thought Boba Fett was like kind of a ladies' man, was like the James Bond of the Star Wars universe. Like he's a cool guy. He's one of the feared. He's cool, but he's super feared throughout the galaxy. In this series, you do not get that. And it's not the actor's fault. I forget his name, but the actor has stated, he didn't think that Boba should be like talking as much, or throughout this whole series he has his helmet off, and it's like, put the damn helmet on. Why are you? It doesn't make sense either. Why are you walking when you have a target on your back in the streets with your helmet off? Your helmet has what you need to fire that missile on your back. Why are you walking with the helmet off? Oh my God. Fennec, I really like Fennec. She's awesome. Mulan. But it's not her show. It should be Boba's show. And he is in the background. Fennec is exactly what I wanted for Boba. She's smart, cunning. She gets the job done. She questions why Boba is doing things that does not help their cause. They're supposed to be taking over Jabba's whole crime syndicate, or his whole everything, his whole territory. But that's not happening because Boba is soft as baby shit. I was trying to give it to the end of the series to see what Boba Fett's character is going to be like towards the end. Maybe he has some badass moment. Maybe he just goes berserk like Wolverine, like he just loses it. No. Oh God, the finale was as worse as I thought it was going to be. It was bad, guys. I'm not going to sugarcoat that shit. It was bad. There were some good moments, the RANT car, but they didn't set that shit up really well. They didn't set a lot of shit up very well towards the finale. They really, when this gets good, like everybody is saying, it gets good when Mando shows up. Once Mando shows up and you're in a Mandalorian like previous season 3, it's good. It's fire. Especially with Luke, Ahsoka, and the decision that Grogu has to make. But I'm not here for that. I'm here for Boba. I am judging the series as Boba. And you cannot take a backseat and say, well, when Mando's episode was there, it was good. It's Mando's episode. It's not Boba. The book of Boba Fett. Change the damn title and you don't have me bitching and you don't have everybody else bitching. Change it to Star Wars Chronicles or something. But don't call it the Book of Boba Fett. I don't give a shit about... The Book of Boba Fett should... Honestly, if you want to go to, a book, this should be... It's the same content. You could still use the same content. It's chapters of Boba's life. You could have went from past to the present and then currently. Or present and then maybe set up future stuff, There's your chapters. But... I feel like it was a waste of time. I feel like we really didn't do anything. It was for the longest time we were getting flashbacks, which some of it we did not need. We didn't need to know how he got his ship back. We didn't need to know how he saved Fennec. I didn't care. I don't care. The imagination, sometimes I think these producers, the studio heads, and even the writers, They just don't have faith in audiences. Just let them use their imagination. Yoda was such a great character because we didn't know too much of his backstory. I don't need to see Yoda's planet and all that stuff. I have a vague idea, my own idea. It's like a book. Your imagination is going while you're reading, and you're seeing stuff. You're the director of your own reading of this book. You are visualizing what you are reading. You are visualizing the scene that's taking place. They're not giving the audience that. Like, we did not need any of that. We could have focused on something more important for Boba. This series should have been a slam dunk. But it's a mess. It's a mess, guys. It's basically a dropping of a paint jar. You get a paint jar and it's just sitting there and it just spills all over. And then, you gotta clean it. You gotta clean it up. You know, maybe it'll work on the floor. Like maybe it'll make it look like artsy. It's not. It's a mess, and you got to clean it up. You know what that means? The show's a mess, yet you're still watching it. You're still coming back every week to see if it gets better. And that's kind of like the prequels, right? Phantom Menace, everybody's so let down. They're like, oh, it's going to get better in episode 2. Did not. Episode 3 is going to be just be the best Star Wars yet. It was not. Good elements to it, like the show. Good elements, good acting, great special effects. They really fixed Luke's face. I was super happy about that. When they fixed Luke Skywalker's face, I was like, there could be a series here. The problem with that, though, is many of the Disney execs, and they have stated this is all going to lead to those god awful Disney trilogy, to Jake Skywalker, to Ryan Johnson. Like, this is what makes me sad. It's like, can we get maybe a time altering thing like in Rebels, so we could have Luke actually be married to Mara Jade or meet Mara Jade and have a son? Just do it right. Do it. They had the material right there. They brought Thrawn. Why can't we have that storyline? It's a rich storyline. The trilogy of Thrawn. You can obviously. I mean, Mark Hamill's still alive. He's voicing, but I mean, I would be all for an animated show too if they were to rewrite, the lore of Star Wars to make it an alternative timeline. Because with Luke having Grogu choose either the Mandalorian or to train as a Jedi, that's it was kind of confusing to me because I'm like, Luke, bro, you saw the misdeeds and eventually he'll get there. Eventually he'll realize you probably come across a lot of records. You have Ahsoka there that the Jedi weren't right. The Jedi were wrong most of the time. Everybody was trying to get power, but nobody was right in the long run. And maybe it is time for a change. I want to see Luke's Jedi Academy have change, have love in the life, not being able. Grogu shouldn't have to choose. He should go the way of both, because that's what history has presented itself in the past. He could be a Mandalorian, or part of Dejan's crew or the Mando's crew, and wield the lightsaber at the same time. Hell, the Mando is wielding the black saber, and I am very much looking forward to. I think he's going to go back to Luke or somebody to help him train. Probably Sabine. Sabine, is going to be, I think, an Ahsoka series, and you're going to get Ezra, live action Thrawn. So you see what I'm talking about? I'm talking about all the good shit that we got in a Boba Fett series. Boba Fett. And they try to give it a Western take. I was always thinking they need to give it a gangsta mafioso take. I'm talking Casino. I'm talking Lucky Luciano. I'm talking Godfather. I'm talking The Last Dawn. I'm talking some Scarface shit if you want to go into that. So, of course, it's Disney. Disney's not going to do that because Disney doesn't do that. You saw Cat. What is it? The black Wookiee cat. Cat's. I'm gonna call him Cat, but you saw him rip one of the alien dude's arm off, and no blood, which is kind of a nice callback to the New Hope when there's like little blood. It's crazy, man. Like I was really. Do you know the one thing that is a freaking banger in this show? That is every time what I look forward to in the opening credits is the actual theme song. The music to Mando and the Book of Boba Fett has not disappointed. It's kind of like John Williams. It's kind of like Ramen or Ramji from Game of Thrones. Like, you're going to get good stuff. And, oh man, fantastic theme song. So good. I love the opening of the theme song. The series as a whole, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, man. It's shit. It's not something. It is gonna be forgotten in 10 years, and it might not even matter in 10 years because nobody cares. They should just let Boba die. I always thought if they were going to bring Boba Fett and they were going to do a series, don't do the clone route. How about maybe you do the clone route, but how about somebody killed the real Boba Fett and took his armor? That would have been dope. And they teased that in Mandalorian season 2 a little bit. That would have been really cool. But I feel sorry for the actor who's playing Boba. You know, he did a great job as Jango. But you could tell he was probably frustrated. And he's a very honest guy. There's just not a lot to love here. If you don't consider, if you are considering, you know, the Mandalorian and them and part of the story, because they do show up at the end of the finale, they help Boba out, which is all fine and dandy. But we didn't need a whole episode of Mando if that's the case. We could have really driven the character development on Boba. And maybe he could have started off soft. You know, the Tusken softened him up. But then he knows in order to rule, respect is not everything. Fear has to be included. And maybe he could have gradually went back. Have the balance, right, of respect and fear. But he needs more fear than respect. I didn't get that, you know. It's a frustrating show because there was a lot of ups and downs. And there were some episodes I was like, what are we doing, guys? What are we doing? You know, I liked a lot of aspects of this. And then, you know, the Tuskens, I thought a lot of them weren't, I thought all of them weren't dead. I thought some of them escaped, but no, they're all dead. They're all dead. They don't come back. That's it. That is it. You know, oh man. And then the corny, when he's walking the streets and he's bowing. Oh my God. And then, you know, they used their budget for the CGI of Luke. Some of the fight scenes were, like I said, the visuals were great. Like when Mando was taking off and his new ship was awesome. The Rancor fight was great. Yeah, just not that chase sequence though with the Vespas. And then, you know, the Crime Syndicate could have been something too. Could have been way more. It's Cad Bane showing up too late. He needed to be either in the middle of the season or the beginning. Oh, just a lot of frustration, man. A lot of frustration because we're leaving Boba and we're going to Obi-Wan, which is going to be more sand. More sand. Anakin would hate these shows. And he's going to be in one of them, which is funny. I just think Filoni has a little bit more bite when it comes to animated. And you could do so much more in animation, of course. But there is, Cat Bane looks so good. Looks so good. And he was so menacing. You know, Luke was great. All that was great. The feel sometimes could have been, was on point too. The atmosphere. But it didn't do it, man. Boba didn't do it. So now we're going to move on to Obi-Wan. And Obi-Wan can be really cool, guys. But we're going to be focusing more on the Jedi aspect of it and the Force. Which it's a shame because, you know, I want more bounty hunter type stuff. And if Boba had a really badass crew, you could have easily done spin-offs on his crew. But he didn't. It was kind of shocking. The dude was so underwhelmed. Like, he would get his ass kicked all the time. And not only that, the guy didn't have a crew. When you're leading a crime syndicate, I think you need a big-ass crew and a fucking army. But he didn't have that. Just did want my one F-bomb drop. That's my one. The guy didn't have anything. He had no muscle. He had little muscles. Little muscles. Garbage. And Boba was so stupid in this. Like he was really dumb. The ideas he would come up with, or his plans, him thinking that all the other crime syndicate bosses were not going to do anything. Stupid. It was very dumb. So the Book of Boba Fett. Did you guys like it? I didn't. If I'm going to remove Mando, Luke, you know, of course, those are the best episodes. Baby Grogu, love me some Baby Grogu. But if I'm going to remove all those guys, those episodes, and their scenes, I guess, in the show, And Timothy Oliphant was fantastic, by the way. He's alive in the post credits, so I could definitely see him in a spinoff too, or at least being part of with Mando or some more adventures, because he was fantastic, man. That showdown was unbelievable. I love that showdown. Really, Clint Eastwood like Tombstone, a little bit of Tombstone, but yeah, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, guys. If you take those out and it's just Boba, Boba's like one of the most boringest characters I've ever seen on TV, especially in Star Wars. He is still a character I don't know why fans have so much admiration about. I do, with a lot of the lore that they gave him in the games and all this stuff. But in this show, you got to be disappointed. If you're a Boba Fett fan, you have to be absolutely disappointed to get what you got. So, let me know, guys. Am I in the ballpark here? I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of people are pissed off about the show too. And if you liked it, you like it. It's fine. We don't all have to agree. Most of the time, we don't. But for me, the Book of Boba Fett, if I had to grade it, a letter grade, it's getting an F. It's getting an F for all the reasons I just stated, and for not living up a little bit to the little screen time that the original trilogy gave the original Boba Fett. Terrible, guys. All right, thank you. Please subscribe. Would really appreciate that. Like the video. It helps out the channel grow more. And then also share it with your friends and family members and let them know Dan the Man is here for you. He's got reviews. He's got movies. He's got unboxing videos. And soon, he's got some Mayans MC videos if you're into that show. So, thank you. I'm Dan the Man, a.k.a. Danielson. This was the Book of Boba Fett. Dum da dum dum da dum 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 da dum dum da dum 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 dum. Oh.